Are you in the game or are you just gonna be looking through my screen?
I am looking through your screen. Do you want me to play a game? Do you want me to open the game or what?
Yeah, well, whatever you want, I don't care. Anyway,
I think that's better, yeah.
so yeah, starting with Tibet at 8.3 morale, he got military drill. He has a ton of other modifiers. His religion also gives him 5%. Army tradition almost maxed out. It's just an insane amount of morale, and I think Ava's getting melted because of it. Ooh, actually casualties on the side of, like, favorably towards Ava. Huh. Does Ava have better quality, like discipline?
Probably.
So Tibet has 120 discipline and plus 30 ICA. Ava has plus 10 ICA and 126. So I guess Ava was just taking better battles and killing more men, but yeah, still has some manpower, which is impressive. I'm guessing he burnt a lot of professionalism, and it's keeping him alive for now. 62 loans in, so this is becoming a debt war for him. 102 on interest, which is a third of his income. So that's not too good, but if he wins this war and the Indians don't just swoop in and take all this shit, he's gonna have a significantly better position than before, consolidating China and everything. He's number 9 on score. Not really gaining any per month because, you know, it's sort of an insignificant nation until he unifies this. But when he does, and if he manages to fix up his income somewhat, it's definitely gonna be a very strong nation with army like this. Went for protectionism, which, yeah, I don't think there's any other viable picks left at this point. I mean, it's either protectionism or
innovative.
Yeah, but I think for him protectionism was the only choice because he really does need the money. And his advisors, oh, I thought they were cheap. I guess I mixed them up with Ava. So as the war is going, he pushed in fairly deep. Ava still has a fort line here, but he doesn't really have to push any longer. He's getting more taking war score and can just hold. So yeah, he's pretty much won the war. I don't see Ava recovering this, but we'll see how Ava looks.
Sure.
There's not much else interesting to say here. He's gotten Korea and colonized the rest of Girin here. He didn't really finish this up, but there's not many. Oh, there's 2 gold provinces here. That's
nice.
So he should be taking those, especially with his shit economy. Gold is still significant for him. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Tibet. Not much else to say this late. Just killing Ava. And let's take a look at Ava and what's happening here. So I have some perspective now because I'm in Japan, so I've been doing Diplo with them all, and I have a little more idea than about what's happening than before. So Ava is isolated against all 3 of them, but Punjab and Hindustan were only attacking because they wanted to punish Malaya. So now that he's not allied to Malaya anymore, they're not really bothering him. But he still did lose all of Bengal, and they forced mill access through him to go to Malaya. So he had to accept that, otherwise he would have just gotten rolled. Me as Portugal offered him help, and I told him I would finance him and help him build up his nation and, you know, help him against Tibet, and he still has a lot of building to do. So like, financing would have been huge for him, and I told him I'd give him a lot of money. And what does he do when he has 1 ally that's willing to help him? When, well, 1 plus Malaya who can't risk allying him, he goes into Japan, no CB's Japan, and cuts me off.
It's a pretty based play, if you
It's a very based play. Like, I was in shock because I saw Japanese, Ava Japanese War of what does it say when it's an OCB? I forget.
It's just an Avon Japanese war. That's how it's called. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe he no CB Japan to cut me off here when I was the 1 person willing to help him. Like, I was willing to ally and put my troops here because I don't risk anything. Unlike Malaya, they have no way to hurt me. So I was gonna come and help, and then he decides, hey, I'm gonna take Japan, fuck you. So, pretty weird play if you ask me, but it cost him his only ally, and now he's just isolated, dying to Tibet and getting bullied by the Indians, which you know, sucks. But what are you gonna do when you don't really think? Estate setup is all fucked. I'm guessing he's been selling to get money to survive his death wars, but at this point you're getting 800 ducats for sell, so that's stupid. You should be seizing on cooldown to keep your crown land. No, you should be selling on cooldown, sorry, to keep your crown land low, because when it gets this high you don't get anything for sale, plus you don't get the bonus from nobility, which you know, seems like it's long gone now, and your manpower would have been a lot better if you did. Contrasted to Tibet's 8.2 morale, he has 5.96, which is not that great. A lot less in loans than Tibet though, but he is getting bankrolled by Ava for 200, or by Malaya for 200. So that would explain if their economies are equal as shit. It's just that one side has a backer and one doesn't. However, he's getting pushed back significantly because of Tibet's army quality advantage. He's running a discipline advisor, but he has a significant morale disadvantage, which I wouldn't recommend. Definitely hire the morale one. Cantonese, you don't have that. Oh shit, so you can't promote this one. I mean, I'd hire this one and then roll for another one so you can promote, so you don't lose the mill points. He has admin focus on, which is interesting. During a death war.
Yeah. I guess he was coring Japan or something, and all that stuff.
I mean, there was not. He was finishing admin ideas, but like he should have switched to mill, like as soon as he was able to, and he's able to switch now. Like mill allows you to recruit more generals. It allows you to go ahead of time on mill tech, which not that significant here, but recruiting more generals gives you more professionalism, gives you more, especially since you have discounted generals policy, which is really good. So good job on that. Recruit generals, and you get army professionalism, and then you slacken, and bam, manpower. Although, I think he already has mercs, so I'm wondering, I'm hoping he uses professionalism on manpower rather than wasting it on mercs. Just one thing I wanted to check. Tibet has 54 absolutism, so I'm worried that he can take a lot in one war, and he can.
What is the CB? Is it imperialism or?
CBs take Dali.
It's the conquest. Okay.
Where is Dali? Down here. But I'm assuming Tibet's gonna want these provinces instead because they're very good trade goods and they're in China. I don't think he's gonna bother with taking the actual fucking Dali. Yeah, weird that they made that the war goal, because you could have like gotten some war goal here much easier, but you know, whatever.
Sure.
I guess he just wasn't that worried about Ava putting up a fight. So yeah, for Ava, I don't know, it's a tough one. Still have a lot of dev and like potential, but you need to start playing actually smart and not making retarded moves like pissing off your only ally. And yeah, I don't know, when you're in a situation like this you want to be doing great diplo, and that's gonna be your way out, and you're not really doing that. So I don't really know what to advise you. You're gonna get fucked by Tibet in this war, and then after that maybe you can try and kiss up to Punjab because you're a lesser threat than Tibet is if he takes over all of this, and maybe Punjab protects you. That might be your saving grace, because you know, Tibet's obviously a lot more competent and he has a lot higher army quality and is even superior to Punjab in army quality, and the only thing Tibet's missing really is income. So if Tibet manages to consolidate a lot of this land, the Indians are going to be threatened. I mean, unless they have faith in their hug box, but you know, those rarely last in the late game. So you might make an argument with Punjab that you're a lesser threat and that he should keep you alive. just my opinion, a little Diplo advice, because I think that's the only thing that can save Ava at this point. Score-wise is number 13, losing score. That's yeah. Let's look at Malaya. Malaya making 1160 income, at war with Punjab at the moment, and Hindustan, and that's why they got access from Ava and they're marching over. And the war goal is Prey Nokor, which is here, so they're gonna be able to get that and get taking horsepower from it. Except I don't really understand why Malaya, because like let's compare the troop quality. Like 5.4 morale, 105 this, and 10% ICA. He's not running a morale advisor, so he can get how much? He can get 5.8 with the morale advisor. He can get plus 5% from policies, so that's 6 morale that he can get from policies and advisor. And he can get 5 discipline as well from policies. So he can get 6 morale and 110 discipline. Punjab has 7 morale, 120 discipline. So, I mean, I don't...
Punjab doesn't have the policies on there.
He doesn't? I assumed he would. Oh.
Why? He's at peacetime.
Well, he's at war, actually. But
Yeah.
yeah, I guess they're all expecting Malaya to roll over, which is what he's doing. And I'm just saying, like, with the amount of money you have, like, he told me he's just discouraged because his army quality is, like, significantly worse. But, like, you're lacking 1 morale. Like, you're lacking discipline, of course, and a little bit of ICA, but you have an absurd amount of money. Like, when you burn through your professionalism, manpower, you just keep murking up, and eventually they're gonna start hurting. Like, I wouldn't, like, if I was Malaya, I wouldn't just be pulling back to my island and not shipping over the colonies, just letting them occupy this. Like, this, for sure, this is undefendable. But I would have built forts. What the fuck, there's no fort line here? It's all grassland? Jesus. Alright, in the jungles. I would have built jungle forts and tried to fight them here at least. Because, you know, your quantity, the amount of troops, because you already have more troops than... Oh, you don't. Shit. Well, you can recruit more. Yeah, you can recruit a lot more and not go over your force limit. And you have the manpower for it. And furthermore, you know, it doesn't really matter because you can always sustain more and more with the amount of money you're generating. It's just... It's gonna take a while before it starts hurting you. So, like, especially here where it's a choke point and they have to focus one battle where they have a negative modifier for dice rolls. Like, that's where your quantity should, you know, kick in and help you out. But it doesn't look like he's gonna be taking that battle. And instead he's just camping in, you know, the island here. And that's just the wrong call for me. I think if you just keep rolling over, they're gonna keep chipping away at you until, like, you're just on your island and insignificant. Also, this is a really weird stack. You should really look into player war, like battle stacks. You want to have a combat width of cannons, and at this point 2 combat widths of infantry. So 38 cannons, 66 infantry? No, 76 infantry. Like, this doesn't make any sense because the extra cannons don't do anything. They're just gonna go to reserve and take morale damage. And the extra infantry, again, don't do anything. They just go to reserve and take morale damage. But you want to have double combat weight of infantry because the front line is gonna break and you need infantry to reinforce it so that the back line, which is cannons, doesn't go to the front. And it's all quite simple, but you should really look into it and make proper combat stacks because like this, you're just gonna get rolled over. But you know, you don't try, you never learn. So take morale advisor, take policies, and try and put up a fight, in my opinion. Other than that, they're just gonna roll you over and keep chipping away. And I think that's about it to say for Malaya. We can look at his colonies real quick and see what their troop potential is. So he has 650,000 force limit. He has Sonora in Mexico. Sonora has another 360,000. So That's a million force limit right there. And he has a decent amount of manpower. It's not a lot, but it's decent. And again, manpower doesn't really matter when you're generating this much money. You can burn through your manpower and mark up the force limit. You're still gonna be, like, you're not gonna be, your economy is gonna sustain it. So a million force limit, and then Texas has another 500,000. So you have 1.5 million force limit, and you can easily go like another half a mil without, like, you know, suffering with your economies. So you could go to 2 million force limit or 2 million fielded regiments and put up a fight, and why you're not doing that is beyond me. Punjab has 600,000 manpower, and after that he has to start marking up or draining his professionalism, actually. But you know, I don't think that's gonna be worth it for him to just cuck you out of a couple provinces here. So the only reason he's coming here is because he knows you're not gonna put up a fight. But the moment you start putting up a fight, I don't think he's gonna be draining professionalism to fight your colonies. You know, it just doesn't seem like it makes sense. So Punjab has 770, Hindustan has 700 force limit, and they can, like, so 1.4 mil, well 1.5 mil almost. They can probably field like 1.8. So you do have like number superiority easily. They do have a lot of money saved up too, but you know, that's just because you've kind of let them do whatever. But yeah, I don't really know what else to say for Malaya. Just start fighting, I guess. Like just letting them keep attacking you and not doing anything doesn't really, it's not really gonna get you on top in any way. Gonna look at Punjab. I don't think I need to be giving any advice to Nibor, so I'm just gonna take a look at this country real quick for the perspective to the war. 7.14 morale, 123 discipline, some ICA, some cavalry compatibility still, and 1.2 million manpower max. Does he not have the morale one? I always get confused about that. Or the manpower one. Was that the Marathas that get that?
So you need to be in a certain culture group to have that.
Oh.
Isn't it like the Tamil culture, the Draconian or something?
Oh yeah,
So
it's Canada.
And he's not that. So he doesn't get the manpower bonus?
He doesn't, yeah. He doesn't have skill and manpower. He would need to like take a province from Hindustan, which would have the culture and culture convert everything to and make it his primary culture.
That seems painful.
He could have gets from the nobility though. He went for the special units instead of manpower.
But
Yeah.
oh, there is.
Yeah, I think he went for Rajputs, which gives him the special unit.
Oh yeah, he's memeing. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't really have a reason not to meme, except Commonwealth, which we'll look at in a moment. But
his country would be significantly stronger with 70% more manpower, but it's okay. Like,
yeah, but like I said, I don't think he has a reason not to meme, because
Wait, was that 15% morale of armies?
yes.
15, yeah.
That mission, yeah.
Does he have any more missions like that?
No, I'm pretty sure every country has, like, well, most countries only have one. Well, he has 15%
Jesus.
ICA.
So he has
2.5 discipline.
2.5 discipline, 15% ICA, and 15 morale saved.
Yeah.
Jerk missions.
Well, India has really good missions, Timurids as well. Yeah, that's nothing new. Let's take a look at Hindustan then. Still sitting on like 60,000 ducats, which he's been doing for like 3 sessions now. He doesn't really have anything to build. He built universities everywhere. He has a couple of new provinces in Arabia. He hasn't built them in. Not really anything to use his money on. Running level 5 advisors, thank God. Yeah, can't really figure out what he would be using his money on. Except, let's take a look. He could be trying to free up building slots because he has a huge shoreline. He could be trying to free up building slots for navy buildings, and saying as that they're like him and his Hugbox buddy are completely invested in inting Malaya. like if you want to do it properly, you should be building up some navy, and like if you build up your entire coastline worth of naval force element and sailors, you could probably do some damage, because you already have a baseline of 30,000 sailors, which is pretty good. I think it's more than I have in Portugal, so it's really good. But yeah, seeing as you have money saved up, you don't, you know, you wouldn't really suffer if you deleted some econ buildings for that, if you want to end Malaya that bad, seeing as you don't have any other threats. Besides that, 6.8 morale, so, you know, not that significantly higher than Malaya's potential, because again, Malaya can go to 6. 120 discipline, 35% ICA though, that's pretty good. Where's he get that from?
Ideas, methinks.
Reform, what is Sipahi? Is that an idea?
His ideas. Set by.
That's pretty good. Has he gone for absolutism? No, he has 4 absolutism, which when a country's sitting like this doing nothing, I always like recommend going for absolutism, especially when you're safe, and he's been hogboxing with Punjab the entire game, so I don't see why not. We should probably start revoking you know, privileges just to min-max and get absolutism, because, you know, if you have nothing else to do and you have no threats, it just makes you stronger. It doesn't have a cost. But this hogbox is one of the most disgusting things I've seen in Greenskin games. It's they just Punjab getting a free win and no one there to punish him at all, because Hindustan's just happy being his little bitch, which is a little bit weird for me, but you know, it is what it is. It do be like that sometimes, as they say. That's it for Hindustan. He doesn't own 2 of his victory cards that 5k worth, or 2 and 3k, which are in Punjab, and he's losing 1 score per month because of it. If he got those, he would be number 3 on score and would probably have he would have the +1 would be 4.7, so he would have number 4th highest generation, or number 5th highest generation, just by getting those victory cards. Well, just by getting those victory cards, but you know, trying to get them at least. It's just like this, you're like, why are you even playing the game, like, at this point, you know? It can't be fun, right? Sitting there doing nothing, beating up Rum on cooldown, who has like 200,000 trips. It's just it's a bit cringe. But yeah, let's take a look at Rum. Rum has been in a death war with everyone, because rather than breaking their own hug boxes, everyone seems content with punching on Rum, because, you know, that's the trendy thing to do. So Songhai has gone into Jerusalem, Ethiopia gone into Egypt, and the only one here that should really be fighting Rum is Ethiopia. Everyone else should be doing their own fucking shit. But instead of breaking their own hug boxes and like doing something significant for their campaign, they've just been punching on Rum on cooldown. So yeah, first off, Songhai going here makes no fucking sense, especially if he intends to keep his alliance with Ethiopia. This is just a
he declared only to like save Ethiopia who was losing, so he took
again,
that as well.
so yeah, just hugboxing. It's really disgusting. Rum and Punjab, or Hindustan and Punjab, just doing this because they were bored, I guess, because they have nothing else to do, because they're just like too busy hugboxing. It's just it's a little bit stupid, but again, there's no one around to punish them, because I honestly think number 1 problem with Asia this season was that China was garbage. Like, the China in the mod was the problem, so then like Tibet's not an actual threat when he should be. Like, whoever consolidates China should be a major threat, but Tibet's still like struggling in 1700s to maintain like his force limit. Number 2 was that seeding in Asia, where we had a lot of new players who got 0 like instructions on how to play or advice, was a problem. So we have like Ava, who's doing like terrible moves, and I'm gonna be looking to fix that in the following seasons by like giving new players a little more advice and trying to backseat game a little bit if they allow me to. But anyway, back to Rum. I'm just appalled at what's happening. He's just been beaten up by everyone on cooldown. Even PLC took a little chunk here a while ago. Italy also went into Rum, I think. Yeah, didn't he?
No, he didn't, but those provinces got free and then he took them, so it's like... the rebels spoke their ups and he instantly vultured the
Yeah, because
rebels.
Italy doesn't want to break his hug box with France, so he wants to go into Rum because he has no other direction. Sonkai doesn't want to break his hug box with Ethiopia, so he goes into Rum because, you know, it's fucking useless, but, you know, no other direction. Hindustan the same. PLC didn't want to break his hug box with Prussia, which I think he did since...
PLC, to be fair, PLC did defend me against India. We fought the war together. He allied me, but then he started to regret that instantly, and he told me he shouldn't have ever done that. So, it's like,
it's just it's pain because Rum is like what happens in Greenskin games like this when people are hug boxing a lot and then they just beat up on one country, not because it helps them or it improves their game, but just because they have nothing else to do because they've hug boxing in all other fronts. Anyway, sorry for the fucking rant, I'm just pissed off. But back to Rum. Again, I don't really know why you're crumbling so hard.
you can't manage your estates while you are permanent war, Kashmak.
Oh yeah, you can't sell.
You just can't, you can't do anything.
Shit, I forgot. We changed that in the mod for C29.
Yeah, I know.
But,
But now I can't. Ultra was not at peace for like 2 years in a row, so...
That sucks. So yeah, you don't really get anything from your estates either. I've been paying off your loans a little bit, but at this point I don't really... I'm sorry, but I see the point in it. It's just they all seem intent to keep coming back.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
624 morale. What idea groups did you go for? Quantity, Pluto, quality.
Well, yeah, that's what Luger picked. Kind of nation range, that it's fine.
Yeah, I don't really know why he went quantity first. If he went Pluto first, he would have had a much easier time scaling. It's a bit weird. Yeah, I guess this nation was already like on its way out when you took over. Like, definitely was
of course.
predestined, and I really appreciate you staying on it for this long instead of just like quitting like Westphalia did. Because you know, if you just quit on a nation this big, like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm kind of starting to lose faith for obvious reasons, but I'm still gonna finish this war and then see, like, after this war, I'm gonna have 200 income, and Texas is at this point much stronger country, so I don't know if it makes sense to play, but
yeah, after this war, I understand, but again, I do appreciate staying in for this long because, like, even if you're like a dying nation, like, there's things that can change, and just like leaving on a nation this big, it leaves a huge power vacuum and it kind of ruins the game. But at this point, with like people hug boxing like they are, I don't. Yeah, I'm okay with proclaiming this nation dead. Like after this war, depending on what Andrew does, of course. But yeah, let's see how the war's going. Andrew took a lot more casualties than you, like almost.
Yeah, I mean, there was this funny part where, when you look at in the south, there's the mountain fort in Syria. It's called Al-Karak, right? So, and Andrew declared on me, and he was for some reason, he was pretty reluctant to push. While, what the fuck? Oh, that was weird. I ended the war with India, and I deleted all of my mercs. I didn't realize Andrew would immediately hit me, and so he did. And I had 100,000 Jews, which he had no idea of knowing, so he waited of like 4 years because he lost one battle on Al-Karak, where he got like 70k stack wipe, so we were just waiting. I was able to hire my mercs again, and then we went on, and actually I could actually fight. But what I meant by saying this, that Andrew should be more aggressive in his wars. He should be pushing and assaulting force, because I would at this point, it should already been over. This war should have been over at this point.
I think he's well, Andrew's learning a lot, but yeah, that's definitely one of the things I've seen him, like when I was in a war with him. He was tech ahead of us, and I think it was tech 23, which gives a new infantry type and a morale pip, I think. So he had a significant advantage, and we were just sitting here, and he wasn't pushing. And none of us had the tech he did, and we didn't have it for like a year, and he wasn't pushing. And I think he pieced you out at that point, so he had no other fronts to worry about. But
yes,
definitely a little advice for Andrew: be a little more decisive and aggressive when you see you have an advantage. Don't doubt yourself; just go for it. But
exactly.
Yeah, let's look at Andrew's country then. He's been making very slow and painful gains in the north against Rum for the last like 100 years. but he lost a piece of Madagascar and also a gold mine here, which, I mean, gold mines don't really matter at this point that much, especially for me, Portugal, but like, I took it because it's good fort locations. So the problem he has right now is that his main node is Zanzibar, and I own three centers of trade, and yeah, that can hurt him really easily, and he can't really do anything about Zanzibar, or no, Madagascar, sorry, not Zanzibar. I mean, he can try and land troops here, but then they're stuck. It's yeah, it's a bit of a problem for him. But either way, see what Ethiopia looks like. 405 income, not running any loans at the moment. 648 morale. That's a little less than Rum had, I think. He's running a discipline advisor as well. I don't know. I think morale wins battles. Like, you're gonna kill more people, but that doesn't really matter in the end. Like, this late or ever. I just always go for morale, to be honest, except when it's like really late game, like 1750s or something. But I think morale's always better. I mean, at this point, that is, at least, because you know, your troops.
I mean, in this war he has double my troops, so he doesn't really lose battles, he just needs to do damage. I think it's fine in this one, but in general, yeah, you're right, morale is in general much better.
14% crown land below 20 is a bit iffy because you start getting taking autonomy, and
it's fine. He doesn't get any.
Oh. Well, never mind. I guess you can go below 20 and then you get better sale titles. So good job, Andrew. Very good estate setup. Should be using this on cooldown. You debase currency to get money, and then, you know, do the interaction unless you are, you know, you need it for a war or for tech cost, but I don't really see that happening because I don't think you're going for dip tech. You should probably be deving with the dip instead. Yeah, a lot of your country still seems not that devved, and you have savannah provinces which are excellent to dev in the mod with slaves on them, so you should probably be deving those instead of going for dip tech. Besides that, I don't see that there is much to say about Ethiopia. His diplo situation looks like he's getting paid 6.4 by Punjab. That's some big money right there. He broke his alliance with Songhai. I don't really know if that's legitimate or not, but, you know, whatever it is, that's just how it looks. And score-wise, he's number 7, gaining 1.41 a month. Alright, let's take a look at Songhai. Songhai had a war with France last session, where France pushed into Central Africa, and I think he got stuck here.
It was that fort, the capital fort, and a bit back and forth over there.
I don't know if you want to leave a fort here. What happened to me when I was fighting Mali in C29 was what I thought is really clever, actually. You put the fort here, and then they can only stand on this province, because this is fort blocked, and they can only put reinforcements in one tile and then siege the fort. So with this other fort setup, they have 2 provinces or more, and yeah, they have 2 provinces they can sit in, and you can't really cut them off as efficiently. If you put the fort here instead, they can have 1 army sieging and 1 reinforcement army here. So you engage the reinforcement stack with your second cannons, and then you engage the siege, and you keep breaking the siege when they get close to, like, getting the siege. So you wait for them to get close to it. It's a desert province. You should also maybe scorch it to reduce the supply limit, so they keep getting heavy attrition. And you also scorch both of these always, and then when they're, you know, you get the gist. So you just engage reinforcements here, engage siege here, and keep breaking the siege, and it's extremely hard to push in. And I think you can do the same here, so they can't push in from the other side either. And that that leaves your...
If they start pushing there, they can't defend the other side, so... it's like they can only push on one side, and if they push there, I cut them off, and if they stop losing battles, they're dead.
I guess that is correct. And also for I saw, yeah, your fort here in Fez. Since you lost this, I think you should,
That needs to be fixed.
yeah, you should move it here, I think.
And then one in Uja.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
the
is
main
there
problem
another-
during the war is that he had Miltech on me for at least half the war.
Oof. Yeah, you should always be paying attention to your neighbors when like it comes
No,
to.
like the thing is, my nation seemed incapable of getting a decent general.
Hmm.
I probably spent like 500 mil on that.
And
Because I only got siege and maneuver
It doesn't
pips.
have a fort here either.
Yeah.
So is your truce up? Your truce is up. I mean, I'm not advising you to attack, but if you were planning to attack, since he doesn't have a fort here, it would probably be best to do soon and just carpet siege
Yeah.
this, and then your Fez fort takes control, doesn't it? Because if you're,
No, does it?
I'm not quite sure how fort line, Flappy, how does
No,
line of control
I don't
work
think
with
that's-
enemy?
No, sorry. What's the problem?
If he occupies these provinces, does this fort in Fez project control on them? So does Saleh?
Yeah.
So
Oh, it does?
Yeah, you can't go into Saladin, but that's how is that relevant? Why is that relevant?
Then doesn't he?
because
He
they're
has
a
to walk
truce.
there, unsiege, then move, then unsiege, then move.
Sorry.
But then he should be able to just go down, unsiege one province, move to the left, unsiege,
Yeah, but I
go
don't
south.
think he can go into
unsiege.
Saleh though. Is the thing, because Fez projects line of control on all of
Yeah, he
these.
can't even go to Tangier or
No.
Tetuan.
What's the project control into? Like he can, if the war starts, he can move from Saleh to the other to Melilla if he wants, as long as he controls the provinces at the very least.
If he controls them, then yes, but if they're occupied, then no.
No.
I think.
Yeah, and that's the whole point we're trying to make here. So like you start
Yeah.
the war, you occupy them, and you have an excellent fort here, which you shouldn't lose as easily this time because you are on par with tech. Like this fort should be a huge chokehold.
Kazmak, can you show me if there's a port in Garb, like on the northern province of Songhai, like the province of Garb? The port is in like Gibraltar.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what you can do is that you can just put your entire navy here and declare occupy Ceuta, and then he can never push you, because first it's -3 battle because there's a crossing and it's a highland, and second, if he was trying to reinforce, you could just put the navy in there, and of course if he lost the battle you could again put the navy in there and he would get his entire army stack wiped. It's literally impossible to push this
And
if you put the navy.
Yeah, even if you're losing the navy battle, they only have to go there for a day and cancel the retreat.
Yeah, you basically send one ship and it cancels the retreat or the reinforcement.
So this is a very good position for you here, but you don't, like, if you're planning further hostilities, like between the two of you, you don't really wanna wait for him to build a fort line here, because that's gonna, cock you a little bit. What else is there to look at Songhai? His victory cards, well, we didn't have a new one, so there's not much point looking at that. He has all 3 of them, and that's why he was ahead of score so much from everyone else. He's still number 2, Punjab overtook him though. He has the same per month gain as Punjab, and diplomatically, trade deal with Britain allied to Tibet, which I have to ask, why?
It's only so I could watch the war.
Oh, interesting. Estate setup is done properly and going for absolutism, so that's good. Seeing as you had nothing else to do, you should also be revoking. Oh, do these not punish absolutism? Oh, they do, -10, so you should be revoking these too. Although that's gonna fuck with your merchants a lot though, so that's a problem.
I was deving quite a bit a while back, so I prioritized having it easier to get them over 60.
How much is it in the month? It's 5%.
No, it's 10% if you get influence higher.
Oh, I see. Okay. But yeah, same as Ethiopia, you can probably go under 20% crown land without. Yeah, you don't gain any autonomy, so you don't have any negatives except for absolutism, which I don't know if is significant to you. But yeah, you could be gaining more money and more manpower going under 20. What is it? Crown. And idea groups went for admin. I would have gone for trade, or no, actually trade doesn't get the production policy in the mod, so yeah, I guess admin's fine. It's just like I don't see you using mercs ever with this much professionalism. Like if you're using mercs, like your nation's already pretty fucked because you have so much professionalism. But so half this idea group's kind of useless for you. Core creation cost is useless for you. Interest per annum is alright, I guess. Possible advisors is useless. Tech cost is okay, and policies plus gov cap is good, I guess. But like more than half the idea group is useless for you.
Yeah, it was a bit of an impulse pick because I also spent half the war trying to get either discipline or morale advice.
Yeah, I don't know. I probably would have gone innovative, or yeah, innovative seems like the only viable pick here. We need to more. I'll put that in the GitHub. We need to make more viable admin and trade and dip idea groups because half of these are really trash for most nations. Like influence is just garbage. I don't think anyone's ever gonna pick it, except maybe Austria early on. But even then, I just don't see it happening. Anyway, set for Songhai. Let's look at Portugal. I picked Maritime and I managed to finish it. Next idea group is probably gonna be well, a milk group definitely, because you know I have room for one more, don't I? Yeah, 3. Yeah. Quantity, I think, or defensive. I don't know. It's gonna be a milk group. Speaking of maritime, I managed to build up my navy somewhat. I have 121 heavies. Caribbean has another 90, and he's building 10 more, so he has 100, so that's 220 total. And I also instructed him, I don't know why he didn't do this yet, but if he forms Caribbean nation, he gets plus 25% naval force limit modifier, and then he could build even more heavies. So he's going to be doing that, deleting his light or transport ships and building a lot more heavies. Our sailor cap is enormous. So I can look that from Portugal. I have 53k on my own, and then I have 64 from Caribbean. Well, none from Louisiana because he has like 2 provinces on the sea. 11k from La Plata, 18k from Colombia, and 14k from Brazil. And they're reaching that point where they have nothing else to build on the shores. So I'm slowly gonna start building naval buildings in their provinces too, if we need to get some naval superiority. Again, I got cucked by Ava in Japan, otherwise I would have been a lot stronger, because all of these naval provinces mean a lot to me. Because like right now I have what 66 provinces total. That's, am I reading that right? Yeah.
Yes. And did you think about forming Japan?
That was the plan, but it's 1700s now, and Ava cucked me, and like I wasted the entire session. The plan was to just eat up the entirety of Japan, change religion to Shinto, change culture group. I already have them promoted, and I would have been easily able to get to them. I think I just need to unstate like 1 or 2 in Portugal, and I would have been fine. But you know, I didn't really want to go to war with Ava because I still wanted to support him, even though he was being a dick. But next session probably gonna be taking Japan and tag swapping to Japan. I just have to make sure Tibet doesn't cuck me and keeps 1 Japanese province here or something, because that would be very unwholesome. But
indeed.
But you know, Tibet's kind of an economic shithole, so I imagine I can always pay him to not do that, like, because you know, money is not the problem. I am losing my hegemon because GB has, I think, 30 or 40 more income than me, and he has that because he has renewed hostilities and started putting ships in Caribbean, started putting ships in Ivory, also stole my trade deal with Songhai, But you know, I restructured my trade fleets, and I have another trade deal coming with another nation that's gonna ensure my hegemon for the coming session, so I'm not too worried about that. Military wise, 6 morale, that's running an advisor already, and I think I have a policy. Oh, I don't have a policy going, so I could have 6.2 morale or 6.25 morale with the policy going. Not really huge, it's pretty garbage. But again, like I showed in the Ethiopian war, when you're playing a colonizer boat nation, your quantity is everything. And we had like 1.5 mil troops in Ethiopia, and Andrew just sort of gave up because who the fuck is gonna fight that?
We had more troops in the New World.
Yeah, we even had more troops in the New World, and I can also get 10% more morale from reformed. Also, navally, naval morale is 6.7. My main competitor, GBR, has naval morale of 5.5, and on top of that, I can also pop, the war focus and get 7.1 morale. And I think I also had a mission for naval tradition or morale. I forget, or did I use that? It looks like I did. That is unfortunate. I also wanted to save fix this, but I forgot because the tags in the mod don't get the fucking holy orders, so that sucks. Anyway, military-wise, 250,000 force limit, 434 manpower, nothing really significant. But my colonies have 710 manpower. 480 regiments fielded. I'm not gonna go look at all their force limits, but it's really significant. I think combined, not going over force limit, we had 1.5 mil in Ethiopia, and of course we can go over force limit significantly because we're making a lot of money. So yeah, that's about it for Portugal. I'm debating what I'm gonna do with my thing. I'm thinking I save enough reform progress and then flip to theocracy in like 1740s, 1750s, maybe after next session, because then number one, I won't need the good rulers for deving, because most deving is going to be done by then, and number two, it gives me really good where is it? Take this, and then if I have enough to unlock 4,
Pick the right one. Mission on the high seas.
Mission on the high seas, morale, and then I'm missing what, like 173 more, or no? Where was the thing for?
Lots of the seas and tier 6.
Oh, it's tier 6. Shit. Okay, so I need a little bit more. So I'll probably need more than one session to get there. But when I have enough, I'm switching to that, and it's definitely gonna make me like a naval hegemon easily. Because it gives even more morale, and morale is really big on Navy, because GB even now has more ships than me, but I did a little bit of a test game, and it's just when you lock them into a battle, your ships are gonna last a lot longer because morale is so much bigger, and that's another thing I'm trying to rework in the mod, is moving the focus away from naval morale to other things, because it is a bit unfair that me as Portugal can completely cuck Britain, even though he has like double the navy. But it is.
He has Irish ideas.
Yeah, he has Irish ideas. That's another point. He shouldn't have gone Irish ideas. Anyway, I've talked enough about Portugal. Let's look at France. Still weaker than Westphalia, of course. 630 income. He's getting a lot of subs from GB, from me, and Italy keeps subbing him. I don't really understand why Italy is subbing him. I'm subbing him because, I have to for my continued existence. GB subbing him because he's a cuck, and Italy has just been his little dog this entire campaign. I don't really know why Italy is subbing him, and yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, if France is demanding subs from you, then, I don't see why you have to pay, but whatever. France is at 1.6 mil max manpower. He fixed up his estates. 75 absolutism, so you can like annex half of someone's country in one war, pretty much.
Kazmak, yeah, you probably need to reset your mic somehow. It's strange, like noises and stuff.
Oh,
Sorry?
How long has he been doing that, and is he still doing it?
It's not doing it anymore. It was like 20 seconds. I was just making sure that it's relevant enough so I didn't interrupt you.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Just tell me because I don't want it to ruin the video, you know?
Yes, it's good now.
I don't
No
know why
problem.
it keeps doing that. It's a good headset. It's weird. Anyway, so France. Let's see what his morale is like. 6.6. I was expecting more, to be honest. Running a morale advisor, so he can have what 6.82 with the policy. Not really that huge. Although he hasn't picked Pluto yet, so when he does, and if he does, that's gonna give him a little more. Or if he goes defensive, that's even more. But yeah, he's starting to fall behind on morale. I guess he just used his early game advantage a little too long. Really good army tradition, max prestige, so definitely wants to catch up on morale before he starts like fighting actual wars with like PLC or Italy, if Italy ever decides to stop being a dog. But
Good job.
yeah. Besides that, let's see if it's built up. Buildings, unis everywhere. Yeah, manufacturers everywhere. Yeah, he's fully built up by this point. He finished off Westphalia, who quit because, you know, there was no recovery to that nation. And that's about it for France. He has 2 victory cards on Italy that he hasn't taken 5,000 worth of score, which would bring him to 10,300. He would be number 4, and he would have yeah, he's second on score generation, so he could be a really big contender for first place if he went after those victory cards. But again, same as other players, just hugboxing and having a very boring game, and I really don't understand it. Like, in the case of Western Europe, it was beating up on Castile and Portugal because, you know, they didn't want to fight among themselves, and then like Westphalia is it's really weird. I don't understand why people prefer to hugbox and have a boring game and then beat up on whoever's like the outcast from their hugbox.
It's because of the score system as well.
Well, no, score system incentivizes them to fight each other. Like, again, if France fought Italy, he could be like going for number 1, but not right now. He's number 8.
I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, he's nowhere close, because like we only have like 10 other we only have 10 nations total left in the game. I think we have 9 colonies. So like him being number 8, he's like one of the last on score from actual nations. And that's just bad, because he could easily be among the top if he just, you know, actually played the game. But yeah, I just don't get it. I'm not going to comment on it any further. Let's take a look at GBR. Is my mic doing the thing again?
No.
It's totally fine, cause like I'm gonna tell you if it does it again.
Okay, thank you. I just I have a little bar that shows me when it's active, and it's like stressing me out now.
No worries, dude.
GBR are losing money currently because of his trade deal with Shanghai. Again, he just wanted to steal my hegemon, and he's paying Shanghai 200 to get 100 from Ivory, which, you know, it's a bit pepega. I don't really know why GB would be going after me just to piss me off when he can't win in the New World. His combined force limit with his subject is 500, and his subjects have another, let's say, 500, so a mil. That's significantly weaker than what we can field. It's a bit weird that GB is again, it's the whole hugbox thing, like hugboxing with France, hugboxing with Prussia, hugboxing, well, not directly, but doesn't want to go after PLC because, you know, he has to go through Prussia first, and then picking on whoever is outside of the hugbox, and it just doesn't make any sense, because this is probably going to lead to a war that's just going to leave GB as an insignificant nation, because again, you're doing the same thing you did a couple sessions ago. When you had the first war with Portugal, and I'm not only saying that because I don't want a war and I'm biased, but even when you finish Maritime, you're gonna be behind me, Portugal, with naval morale, because you know you picked Irish ideas, and you should be playing like Ireland, not like GB. You keep going after what GB plays should be, but you're not like a nation for that. It just doesn't make any sense. You should have capitalized on this a lot more. Westphalia dying and Prussia being almost dead, and gotten Lubeck and probably a lot more here before others do. But it looks like Italy is gonna grab it before you, and that's just a bit sad. Victory cards 1 and 3k on France. Where did this 2k spawn? I'm assuming somewhere in Africa. Where is this 2k? Oh, yeah, on Malaya. So yeah, you're not gonna get the 2k, but you could be going after France at least, or trying to weaken France, and because again, you paying him subsidies, like me paying him subsidies makes sense because, you know, I'm dead if I don't. You paying him subsidies doesn't make any sense because you remove your forts. If he sieges this down, he can just sit there and do nothing. Like, it's not gonna hurt you. You just put your ships in the channel. He's not gonna be stealing your trade. Like, he can't piece you out just for this. It just doesn't make any sense at all. And you could be at what were they? 1 and 3? Yeah, 1 and 3. So 4,000 score. 7,000. You would be number 5 with generation that's 5th, so you would be again contender for like the top 5 at least, if not contender for the win if you were playing it right. And again, I just don't understand why people play this late if they're just gonna meme, because, you know, whatever. 7 morale, 5.56 naval morale, really good manpower. Is he running the edicts everywhere? This one, yeah, although I would be running edicts everywhere if I'm preparing for a war, including these, like I could get most of these are shitty provinces, but Wallonia isn't, Friesland isn't, you know, those are pretty good. He went to theocracy, and he went to, again, weird, because like if you're gonna, you pick Irish, you go after Portugal, you go to theocracy, and then you don't pick the one thing that makes you a good navy.
You can't yet.
Oh, you have to finish maritime. Okay, smart. So when you finish maritime, you can change that, and you should if you're gonna go after, maybe, because, you know, you have to decide what you're gonna do, and you have to like play the game accordingly. I don't agree with this whole thing, but you know, if that's what you plan, then definitely finish maritime and change to that government reform, because it's 15 morale, and you know, the other like naval leader fire doesn't really matter, but 15 morale is pretty good. Besides that, running a +4 mill advisor. Ooh, he has debts too. I mean, he's losing money because of the trade deal, but like, then try and fix it. You're not at war. Lower your army maintenance. You can't really lower the naval maintenance. You can put these forts offline. You know, shit like that I don't really have to tell you, just to fix up your income, because you're going slowly into debt and you're running a +4 advisor instead of +5 this late. It's especially when you have a well-connected king, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And you're under gov cap, so yeah, it's a bit weird. Your crown land is exceptionally high, you should try and lower it. So sell on cooldown, give more to nobles, you get more manpower, you get more money. You can also seize, so you can sell more overall, but this light I would just be selling on cooldown and not seizing, because you're gonna get it back from just debbing, and if you seize you're gonna be too high again. Besides that, I don't really see much else to say about GB. Are you over your naval force limit? Yeah, a little bit. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna look at these colonies real quick. Vermont has Golden Euro Cup. It's finishing in 1720, so 24 years. Currently at 6 morale, 380 fielded, 357 force limit. Decent income. Well, without the morale advisor, actually 6.6 is pretty good. So that would be 6.4 with the morale advisor, which is really decent. Take a look at Louisiana for reference, because they're the neighbors. Louisiana is at 6.4. So yeah, they have identical morale. Louisiana has 520,000 manpower, and Vermont has 443, and that's with Golden Era, so Vermont is slightly weaker. Vermont does have a navy though, which I should have been doing with my colonies, making them take maritime. It's really smart, because Vermont's just the sole reason that the Caribbean is bleeding, and it was bleeding a lot more. So, pretty smart pick there. If I went maritime with La Plata or Brazil, this would have been a very different story, but yeah, good play on Vermont's part, going maritime, or BFG basically instructed him to. Very good fort line as well. I looked at it beforehand, except don't really know if farmland fort here is worth it. Might as well forfeit this, so they have to go through marshes or mountains. It's just free war score. Quebec, 165,000 manpower, really decent income. I wasn't expecting Quebec to have any. Oh, it's 200 subsidies, never mind. Running level 5 advisors, it should be pretty good king, so it looks like he's re-electing. 5.4 morale, so significantly behind Vermont and Louisiana. I'm wondering if the idea picks a different Tuta quality quant. No, I guess they just have it in their national ideas and Quebec doesn't. That's unfortunate. He's running the advisor and he can get more from policy, but yeah, still behind. Yeah, I'm not gonna take too long on Quebec. Let's go look at Italy, Prussia, and then PLC. Italy, very strong nation, so I'm just gonna be making references between France and him the entire time. So 653 income. France is at less income than Italy, and France also has subs. So Italy, no, not very stronger, much stronger economically. And if he cuts his subs to France, I think France can't even feel the force limit. Meanwhile, Italy should just play the entire game hugboxing with France for reasons that I don't really understand.
I mean, to be fair, he was kind of dying like 100 years ago. He was still recovering from the war with Spain, and he got hurt a lot by it. He went bankrupt like 2 times,
Yeah,
so he was recovering, which is fine.
And again, people seem to think like, oh, it's like 1700s, I can't go for score anymore. He has 5,000 score in France from 2 states. And unlike France, he doesn't really have any enemies. Prussia is sort of negligible at this point, and I'm sure if you try and make a deal with Prussia, Prussia's not really going to go after you, because he would just be happy to consolidate and stop getting beaten up, same as Rome. So if Italy went after France, he could get those, I think it is a war that would favor Italy, and Italy would be at 8,500 score, again number 4. So a lot of countries is what I'm trying to point out here is I'm not trying to pit people against each other. I'm just saying, like, a lot of countries are giving up and just like sitting here having really boring games, fighting the same country for like 100 years for no gains. Like Italy fighting Prussia to get fucking Bayernut, like fucking why? When he could be going for the win, fighting France, and especially since it's PTZ who previously whined about not getting the win versus Mughals. It just doesn't make any sense for me that he would be hugboxing on the weaker end with France. It's really weird. His estate setup is fucking whack. I don't really understand it. It's pretty garbage. Like you should have had nobility high by now to get more manpower. But if you don't need it and you're just going for absolutism, then at least you should go full time for absolutism and might as well pop court in country because you don't have any other threats. But you're not really doing either now. You're not going for very high absolutism and you're not going for very high manpower. It's really rather weird. Assuming he's fully built, I don't really need to look at anything. Yeah. fort line is another thing that is really fucking weird. Like fort in Quino instead of Saluzzo. Like you can have a mountain fort, you're choosing a wood fort instead. It's really weird. Like this is definitely not the standard fort setup for Italy. You have a fort line in Saluzzo, and you have one in Como. I'm pretty sure there is a woods province here. I think no, it's hills in Genoa, so you don't need this one in farms either. And then there was another one here in Modena, and then yeah, it's just the fort line is really shit right now. I don't understand why you would ever have a woods fort next to a mountain one, but I guess that's how bad the Huckboxing is, that he just doesn't even need to maintain a proper fort line with France. He had a war with Prussia, like I said previously. He got this land. I mean, I guess the rest of Vienna, but why he's going into Rhineland is just weird, I guess. So Vienna doesn't leak as much to Rhineland, but yeah, it just doesn't make any sense to me. His morale is 7.5, so that's almost a full point over France. Running morale advisor, not running the policy, so he can have 7.72. So over a full point of morale more than France, and I'll compare him to Prussia later when I see Prussia. But for now I can only compare him to France. But yeah, that's it for Italy. Just another one of those nations just sitting there doing nothing when they could be, you know, having a great game going for the win. I don't understand, but whatever. Prussia, same situation as Rum. Got kicked out of the little Huckbox and is getting dunked on by all of his neighbors. France pitted him and Westphalia against each other for like 2 wars first, and then France, you know, annexed Westphalia like I said he would. Them fighting each other in that time was stupid. Like if you fought earlier while France was busy, or if you fought later, again while France was busy, or while Italy was busy, it would have made more sense. But you two fighting while France is just waiting to clean up, it's stupid. You should have teamed up against France and Italy and survived those little wars that you two had. Killed both of your nations. Prussia still has room for recovery, though. He has a decent economy. GB is subbing him, which is one thing that I didn't mention, that GB is doing really great. The subs going to Prussia are an amazing move by GB, because it doesn't let France and Italy just roll in here and take everything, and that's what GB should be doing with his money, slowing down his Huckbox partners so they don't outscale him too much, because you know you want to go for the win again. So good move from GB subbing Prussia here, in my opinion. Prussia has 7 morale, so Italy has more morale than Prussia. Prussia has more morale than France. That's without running the morale advisor. With the morale advisor, that's another 10%, so 7.34, and policy is running, so 7.34 morale for Prussia. Italy is 7.50. So Italy has a morale advantage on Prussia. Prussia has 122 discipline. Italy is 112. And finally, Prussia they have the same ICA. So these wars are going to be painful for both sides, even though Italy has a significantly stronger economy and manpower base. Prussia's just going to be a tough one to crack. I hope his fort line is set up decently at least. This should be here. You have a Highlands fort, I mean, yeah. This is the kind of things you want to be looking at when you like fighting constant wars. You don't want to leave your forts on grasslands, especially with your main enemy. Awful power projection. He should pick another rival. You know, at this point it doesn't matter. Like, there's no reason he shouldn't pick France unless he has some secret diplo to ally France. Send out the insults, send out the embargoes, try and get to 50 power projection for those extra points. Okay, he's finishing admin. Again, I don't really know why admin, because it's gonna be hard for Prussia to. I guess because he drained so much professionalism, he's probably gonna need to go into Merc soon. So, yeah, maybe a good call there. Although I think maybe protectionism or trade would have been better. But yeah. Put the state edicts on everywhere for enlistment to get more manpower. And that's it for Prussia. I would just be careful of Commonwealth, which I see you are. Allying Punjab is a good call. But I would also try and see if you can, you know, talk to France to stop Italy eating into you. You know, stop something like that, because I don't think Punjab's gonna help you against Italy. But yeah, let's look at PLC. That's the last one. 578 income, 7.27 morale, really good. A couple of these nations have surprisingly good morale, like Italy, Commonwealth, and who else had really good morale? Was it Punjab? I forget. Punjab is, yeah, 7.14. Not running a morale advisor, so he can have even more. He can have 7.67, and he's running full mill policies apiece. I don't really recommend that. You're just bleeding mill points. You want to be using those dev, obviously. 1.6 million manpower, pretty good. And looks like you can have a little bit more with an increased enlistment, but you know, it's good enough for now. Running a little bit of a deficit, 4,000. Estates are set up beautifully, although, like I said to Songhai, and you know, which we've seen in Ethiopia, at this point you can fall below 20 and you're not gonna get taking autonomy. So it might be better to do that to get more manpower and more money. He went into a republic. Do you think that's a good call, Flappy?
Oh no,
Yeah,
I don't.
that is a bit weird.
I mean, a Republic is good for mana generation, but I think it makes your army weaker because you're gonna get, for example, manpower from nobility or absolutism from, you know what I mean, from the last
He
reform.
kept his nobility, I guess, because it's PLC. He has a different.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's good then. But I mean, there's still 15% on when you are a kingdom. You still get 50%, but
Yeah, I would have either stayed the original cup form or gone theocracy, because, like, I mean, you go Republic when you need mana, and you go Republic as early as possible to capitalize more on that mana. And in 1700s, I don't think getting more mana from Republic is worth it over like manpower and other shit.
I mean, he still has a lot to death, so it's not like nation ruining or something. But it's pretty fine to do it. It's like
definitely not nation ruining. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it would have been better if he stayed kingdom or went theocracy.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
his theocracy, he would have had more bonuses. I think they have force limit as well, right?
Yeah, but I also appreciate his like how like he's not afraid of going and trying out like these reforms and stuff. It's like it's pretty good. I like when it's diverse a little bit, even though he might not be like the super best for him.
Yeah. Keeping good power projection, which is, you know, admirable, although I think you have insults off cooldown, or am I wrong? I think I'm wrong.
You can see that when you hover over the power
I
projection.
thought, I
Yeah,
thought
he has them on. He doesn't have them on cooldown. It's like.
Anyway.
He did it recently. Yeah, whatever.
So PLC, a very formidable nation at this point, like rose to prominence. 767 force limit. He can probably field a lot more, seeing as his income is fixed up now. He's also, wasn't he subsidizing? No, I guess he's not. My bad. Yeah, definitely a rival to Punjab now, and pretty decent nation. I think you can have a. Oh, does he? Oh, I think Punjab has the mountains here. Yep, that's unfortunate. Did he fix his fort line from last time? Because last time it was 1 fort and then his mainland's exposed. Yeah, looks like he did. So that's good. And that's about it to say for PLC. I think his victory cards are on Italy, 3k, or Italy and Prussia, so he would have to fight both. And he has the 2k and 1k. Score-wise, he's number 5. If he managed to get the 3k, he would be number 4. His score generation is pretty good. I think he could probably snag military hegemon from France when he builds up. Oh, he already built it up. I thought he didn't have this. But yeah, if he wanted to, he can still snag it. I think just going a little bit over force limit is not gonna destroy his nation.
And integrate Livonian order.
Yeah, you should really not be keeping vessels around this late. Like they should have been integrated a long time ago, especially because we have a cheaper vessel integration. Where is it? Was it admin or dip? I forget. Diplomatic annexation cost, so 20%. It's pretty big. You should have done that a while ago. And yeah, you have the gov cap for it because you're only slightly over. And that's pretty much it. Unless you guys have anything else to say about Commonwealth or anything else.
Not really. You could cast.
I'm just, I don't know. The game's going really good, I think, and this is one of those that's gonna play till the end. The one thing that I am disappointed about is all the hugboxing going on everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, there's always 2 options how to play the game. There's the one option where you keep those hagboxes, those alliances, and you play it safe, but it's kind of boring for everybody. And then there's the other option, which I consider more interesting, is when you go the best for your own nation at the expense of the others, and then it's like pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's the fun way to play, and I feel like the worst part of these hugboxes is like Punjab, Hindustan, just using it as an example, Punjab, Hindustan, and Ava were in a hugbox in session 1, and the 3 of them kept hugboxing till like session 5 or 6, and then at one point they just decide, hey, we're just gonna hugbox with the 2 of us and kill you. And I think the similar thing happened in Rum because Ellis Luger was also friendly with Punjab, and it's just those are really a coin flip whether it's gonna be good for you or not. Because at any point you can just get kicked out of the hugbox and then they're ganking you, and that's what I don't like about it. I don't mind that if they're like hugboxing somewhat, but if they're just like hugboxing and then actively ganking everyone around them, it's really scummy, and that's why I think we're using score is to prevent that exact thing. But people not playing for score, or people like Hindustan cucking to Punjab and giving them score and helping them get more score. It just, I think it ruins the game overall, and I really wish that would stop.
Yeah, it kinda does. I mean, Hindustan, I think it's the second strongest nation just because of how OP all those Indian shenanigans are, but he just plays for his ally, I don't know.
Yeah, Hindustan, I think, like, between, like, the strongest nations right now, it's between Hindustan and Punjab. I think it's really tough.
Yes.
Although Hindustan, I think Punjab had a lot more professionalism saved up. Hindustan has, I think, a morale advantage on him, or a compatibility. I forget. Let me take a look.
Oh yeah, Hindustan has compatibility and Punjab has morale, because Punjab is also sick, as you can see.
Yeah, but the morale advantage, Hindustan had, or Punjab had 7.15, so the morale advantage isn't huge. So I'm just saying, like, this hugbox makes no sense because you could be doing a lot better for your nation, and I don't know. It just I can't see how this is fun for either of them, because they just been sitting there doing nothing, ganking like on Rum, and even still they're like, when Rum has 200,000 troops, they're like allying and declaring on Rum together, and it's just it's really cringe.
Yeah.
And now they're marching on Malaya together. It's I don't get it. And Hindustan especially marching on Malaya, where is it? Yeah, he has like what, fucking 100 and he has more.
I mean, Malaya trade warred him, so I think it's fine.
Yeah, but no, the whole thing there, like what happened here, and what happened here, is they were taking away victory cards from Malaya.
Yeah.
To reduce, because these are Malaya victory cards, to reduce his score. This is his 1k, and this is his 3k, because Punjab, who is going for the win, wanted to reduce Malaya's score. So then his little dog, Hindustan, is like, hey, I'm gonna help you, I'm gonna march my entire army and fight Malaya for you. Like, when he has no fucking need to. Like, Malaya's trade war on Hindustan is a response. Like, it's not like Malaya's picking this fight.
True.
Punjab picked this fight so Punjab can get the win, and Hindustan just like running along. Like, I don't get why. Like, why are you fighting for someone else? Why are you playing for someone else? It's really weird. And same is happening in Europe, of course, with like France getting babied by Italy for some reason. Even Italy's stronger at this point. It's really weird. I just don't get it. Like, why can't people just play for themselves? It must be like on top of it just being cringy and like ruining the game. Like, primarily it must be boring. Because
Yep.
yeah, whatever.
But it's also, I mean, whatever, yeah. You can't fix this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think the only way to fix this is play more games and like have the community grow and become more competitive. But
Yes.
yeah. Anyway, that's it. I'm gonna end the video here, start uploading, and I'll see you all in a little bit. Bye.